dialogue with a luciferian or a draconian, reptilian, saurian being, body 5, I guess, video number 5, fourth session, or session 4. Okay, as I stated, unfortunately my remaining time is shorter than planned. This one is unforeseen and unavoidable. I will not have sufficient time to answer all of your questions, so I will, for the most part, focus my remaining time with you upon responding to those questions that I feel to be from the heart. Once asked by Jews who are genuinely looking to take something away with them or import from this course here together. My second focus will be upon answering other intelligent or insightful questions that can be used to further develop our discourse. I desire to impart as much as I am able with you in the short time we have left. I will also, as far as possible, answer other questions that I feel are important in the grand scheme of things, meaning that even if the question seems to be from someone more intent on finding things to debunk, if that question ultimately still serves great purpose, I will do my best to reply. Please bear in mind that in light of the above, many of my answers will need to exercise more brevity than I would ideally like, though this is necessary to respond to as many of you as I can. With further delay, I shall continue with our discourse. Question: do you know me? Do you know who I am? What part do I play in all this? When will I wake? Will I wake? Should I wake? Feel it in me. I feel it in me, but I'm afraid to let it out. Help me. Do I know you as the individuated human expression typed into me over cyberspace? No, I do not. What part do you play in all this? What part do you want to play? The choice, as always, is entirely yours. Whether you are consciously aware of it or not, you are co-creating the storyline on this planet. My advice would be to do so consciously. When will you wake? When do you want to wake? Do you want to wake at all? If your answer to this question is yes, then use the catalyst and tools we have provided for you. I have made my subtle, not so subtle, and even overtly blatant statements within this topic as to how you may choose to do this. I feel it in me, but I'm afraid to let it out. Why are you afraid? Do you not reply to that question, but rather ask it to yourself during your quiet time, where you walk open yourself? You do walk open yourself, don't you? If not, now would be a good time to start. Sit in silence. Switch it off all non-essential electrical appliances. Leaving the refrigerator on would probably be a good idea. The electromagnetic field they create disturbs your brainwave patterns. And it makes it difficult for your mind to achieve the deeper alpha and theta states conducive with relaxing deeply and hearing your inner voice. Ask Infinite Creator to help you. Think hard because you know that He will. Be honest with yourself. Why are you afraid? Remember that this is a game that you are playing and that is not reality. When you find and come to know your Creator living within you, you will know that there's nothing to fear. Be the strong and courageous soul that deep down you know yourself to be. Do not hide your inner light. Trust yourself and shine your light into the darkness. We ask our infinite Creator to guide you and illuminate your path. Powers be power that be when spenakumat, focus on creating. Negative point in the universe to upset the balance of our universe? No. Once the 9/11 ritual, the creation of a Stargate? No. It was a ritual human sacrifice that and the obvious catalyst for the so-called war on terror. So, could the prediction of Federation of Light's Godchild could have been true in a sense instead of our UFO, or our understanding of UFO could be light bearers influencing mankind descend to a descend to a higher stroke, lower vibration status. She has a good heart. She just turned into the wrong channel and I listened to the wrong program. I mentioned before that if one does not exercise the appropriate protection and discernment, what was initially a positive channel can be very easily become unknowingly corrupted by a negative one. When they start giving your dates and times, you know that something is amiss. Giving dates and times that are not going to come to pass succeeds in putting out the light of the channeler message by destroying the credibility of the messenger. Is the creation of fear, terror, horror, and suffering by your kind to create lushy emotions for feeding at the time of harvest? No. Other bloodlines that had been fused with the ancient wisdoms, trying to become gods themselves. There's no need to try. Humanity needs to grow beyond the stagnating concept of gods. The idea of a god takes the power out of your own hands, that's so true, and places it upon some shadowy, unknown figure somewhere out there, in other words, outside of yourself. Instead of God, see Creator. Now wait a minute. Since this one, he portrayed himself as the shadow beings and the dark forces, luciferian. He's saying all this, he's stating all this disclosure here, and they are against religions and gods. Then that means that they are not the one who are creating, they are not the overlords that creating religion and all the other social conventions and geopolitics to control the mass in here. So there is no need to try. We already are creators, and so are you. The only question is, will you create consciously or subconsciously? What is level point 11? Think of an alarm clock. What alarm clock for? Please explain how newborn babies are infused with spirits after birth. They are not. A soul enters into its physical container, usually long before the birthing process, sometimes later, but still before the actual birth. but not until the, I would say, 3 months of gestation, 5 months gestation, or even later. There's no soul before that. That's a website like this serves purpose of negative generating. That depends upon how you use it. It has the potential to be either negative or positive. It's up to you how you use the potential. What's wrong with having ego, and why do the new age religions try to suppress the ego? Without the ego, it seems as though one can't ponder his own existence, or in fact learn from the wealth of knowledge that we are searching for, and make mistakes and correcting those mistakes. The killing, the agenda, or even the idea of suppress ego is to make us weak and make the person more vulnerable and weak to control. There is nothing wrong with having an ego. See, you religionists, your ego is an excellent and invaluable tool. Yeah, and this works for me because give you an armor from which you don't allow yourself to be bullied. You understand? And then give you a lot of self-affirmation and high self-esteem. Chat. The problem is to go too far with it, to take it into its extreme. Chat, as if any tool, if you do not have it under control, it carries the potential to become dangerous and become a violent tyrant, to think that you are the best and do you and others much harm. Strangely, my concern is that I will be recycled back into the wheel of life, and I'll be reborn with a new brain and lose everything I have so arduously learned in this lifetime. Be deleted, erase it, Your character will be erased. Your soul remembers everything you've ever experienced. The only reason you don't remember it all now is due to what we term the veil of forgetfulness already on purpose done by aliens. If you came into each new incarnation with access to your soul memory, there is no point in your coming to space-time, because the game is already become as a retarded with amnesia to recreate everything anew and remember from there. Remember who you are from there. It would be like play computer game with all the cheats. You wouldn't learn anything. But you are not here to learn. That's the thing. We are here to remember. We are not here to learn. For those fools out there who think that we are here to learn, you are wrong. We are here to remember what they caused us to forget. Okay? And it takes the fun out of playing the game for you. For you is fun, for us is not. Remember that this card, at least for me, I don't speak for other cards, at least for me, it's not fun. Remember that this current physical body you carry around with you is not who you are. That's true. But the soul is around it, and the soul's feel, the conscience is jailed, is enclosed in there. The conscience is carrying this body, and it feels heavy for us. It feels a burden. It's a burden for the soul and conscience to carry this body around. It's just the vessel for your essence. Who you are is real and cannot be destroyed. You will retain all your memories of this life experience once you pass into the realm of time space. Yeah, but momentarily, before you guys again erase it all out one more time when you send us back again. or that which some call heaven. Space-time is illusion, time-space is real. That infinite being living within and around your body, namely your soul, is who you really are. The part of you that thinks and feels and loves, it will always be a part of you, and even that's not what we really are. What we are is more than a soul. My dream is to be a master such as yourself. I'm not a master, I'm a growing and evolving soul, just as you are. We are just at different stages of our development. You will get to where you desire to be. It takes time and patience. Be sure to make time to enjoy the journey. I endeavor each day to master myself and change, to develop a mind that has mastery over my body. I feel I have come so far in this lifetime and yet not far enough. You are on the right path in that you are consciously choosing to walk open yourself. Many there are in this world who are not even aware of such a concept. Many, many. Even those who are still trying to scar it through the veils of illusion and ignorance is still kind of lost in the maze and the myriads of information. They are lost. They are still uh, too much attached with religions, with conventional religion system, to break free from the boundaries of beliefs. So they should not even try and meddle with this kind of new information and new age agenda or whatever metaphysics, because you are still very much attached to your religion. So stay that way, better than you come here and then give false information about reality. You are on the right path, that you're constantly choosing to work upon yourself. Many there are in this world who are not even aware of such a concept. Remember though that it's not only the mind you must develop, but also your soul. Work with your feelings as well as your thoughts. Cultivate compassion, as that is the main thing you will be gaining working with enforcement. See yourself within all others and treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. Then remember this one crucial thing: there are no others. My dream is to one day personally meet great masters like yourself and learn what you know. Then here is what you must do. Go and find yourself a mirror. Gaze deeply into it and then say this word, hello, and you will indeed meet with eyes. Backstage, once the game is over, when you see eyes out of custom, you will recognize eyes as your age-old friends. Thank you for coming here and sharing your vast knowledge of the universe. I have much to ponder. You are welcome. Thank you for your questions. I feel the desire within you to progress. You have it within yourself to be all that you wish to become and much more that you cannot yet even imagine. We look forward to sitting down for a good old reminiscence with you on the other side. In the meantime, keep trusting and walking open yourself, and live each moment in thanksgiving to our infinite Creator. May our infinite Creator bless and guide your path. Honored soul, O Madam, I wish to be the one to bring a new planetary energy system to the world. As it's assumed that the families have great knowledge, I humbly request access to this small bit of needed information. I don't think so they will disclose, not that is. A you-to-you message to set up a more secure route of communication would be splendid, I presume. I'm aware I can never be a member, but accolades would suffice. I'm also aware a trade-off would be in the offing, and discussions of such would be held with respect, though not with guaranteed acceptance. I wait your reply. I'm sorry that this is not possible, see? One is born into the family and raised in a very specific and rigorous way, which engenders unwavering loyalty. No matter how keen and sincere one may be to join us, we can only place our trust in those who raised in our ways. I would not wish the conditioning process we go through on anyone. It can be grueling at times, and it's too late to begin the process once childhood has passed. Yeah. As for further communication, unfortunately, this is also not possible or allowable for me. And this time now they are reptilian. This time now they are allowed to try to make rapport with the humans, to make try approach with the humans and see how it will go. See, try to interact with the humans. I have given as much information as it is permissible for me during this discourse. There are many informational gems within these pages for those who truly seek to develop themselves. Some are obvious, others are more subtle and multi-layered. Take them within and ask the Infinite Creator to bring insight. We wish you well, open your journey, and look forward to seeing you at the after-show party. I'm still not clear on what this harvest is. A harvest means to reap what has been sown by you, not by us. We did not sow, our Infinite Creator did. We do not reap, our Infinite Creator does. We have to prepare the harvest by separating the wheat from the chaff, for wanting of a more eloquent metaphor. Will it be instantaneous change of which there is no longer exist the physical realm as we currently know it to be, and our experience as an illusion? I have already covered this elsewhere in the topic. I would encourage you to read it through again and find the information I have already presented on how the harvest will occur and what the different variations of experience will be. Thanks for your answering my previous question. I have some more questions. Is that okay? First, how can karma be overcome, if at all? Is there an end to the karmic cycle? There is. Second, is time really as we perceive it, or is it another 3D illusion? Third, are your family members born with the knowledge of what they are and where they are from? Sure. And it's all taught and passed down. Have you ever doubted or questioned any of it? Thanks. You are welcome. Answer number 1, no. Karma cannot be overcome. It must be walked the rock. No, overcome it because you did not ask for it. The conscious level. You don't have to walk it off anything. Hard knocks and punishment is not the way to learn. Unless you are masochist. In other words, if you hurt someone, be it physically, emotionally, or however else, you'll have to, at some future point, experience what that felt like for them. The law of karmic effect is not a punishment, it's a tool of not learning, remembering. We don't have to learn anything, which is set in place to promote personal growth and development. If you have to feel the consequences of your actions, There is a high likelihood of your choosing a different course the next time around. It is important to hold in mind that it works both ways. Seek therefore to ensure that the effect of your presence upon those others whom you encounter upon your journey are positive and beneficial. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want these people around me. Take them away. I didn't ask them to come to my life, except my mother and my sisters. And regarding to this karma nonsense, is one thing for us to pay here. Do here, pay now. Don't live for credits. Don't live for next time, for next life. There's nonsense. I don't believe that. There's nonsense. Do here, pay here. 1B. A karmic cycle is brought to completion once you have learned. We don't have to learn anything. The lessons intended for you from it. Nonsense. If you keep repeating the same mistake because you all created it, you'll keep cycle until such a time as you get the message and break the cycle. But yes, ultimately, all of us will learn that which we need to learn, and all of us will find our way home. For some, it just takes longer than others. Yeah, because longer than others, because there's some demiurge like you all who create all this possibility. Is legions of demons who create all this and then call yourself gods, creator, blah blah blah. I don't think so. I don't buy that. But 2. Linear time is more accurately described as an intentional fabrication. The true nature of time is cyclical. No, don't have to go be like this. The nature of time is linear and not cyclical. Cyclical you have invented, making timelines. Though remember also that even cyclical time is part of creation, and creation, beautiful as it may be, is also an illusion, or more accurately, a thought form of an infinite creator. Creation is not real, but the creator and co-creator of it are. Real or not, it seems real. Looking like a nightmare for some. This is an excellent question. It will devote some time to it. Firstly, there is a distinction to be made. When I speak of family in this particular reply, I'm referring to the power lines, example, those who that do not originate from this planet. They talk about the galaxy confederation, the aliens or other non-human species. It's a confederation does not mean intrinsically or specifically a Zeta Reticulis or Arcturian or Andromedas, whatever, reptilian. But they are all in it together. They are family because they are confederation of galaxies. The bloodlines that you know of, which they are part of an extended family, are not born with the same extent of spiritual esoteric power that we are. And in this response, I am referring to our true and pure family. We are not born with the same veil of forgetfulness as you are. Of course, you will take away our memory, so thanks to you all. The veil is still in place, but would be most accurately described as being somewhat thinner. We see the invisible connections of life which are hidden from you. Of course, because you use technology, to get invisible? Because we retain access to more than just the third density perspective. Not dissimilar to the manner in which some people can see what you call auras. This is because you are walking your way up, whereas we have chosen to step down in order to help you. We could not do this as successfully if we had to forget all that we have learned. In other words, to you, everything appears as being separate. We see that this is not the case. We do not have direct soul memory as the minute that you remember what you did yesterday, but we may access any portion of our soul memory we so choose when we focus open it, often in a meditative state. Personally, my experiences are different again, in other ways due to my specialty in the spiritual disciplines. But I will go into that in more detail later in response to another question. Yes, information is indeed passed down, though unlike for yourselves, any of us may, with some effort, check the validity of that information from our personal and group soul memory. Basically, where you see yourself as separate human beings, we see and know that we are one. Then I'm glad I picked up on that particular point. I found it to be a real ray of light, though I am unsure what to do with it. This information feels as though it should comfort me, and yet it's difficult to feel comfortable knowing that evil in part makes us who we are, but thank you nonetheless. Evil is not who you are, it's part of the complex series of illusions that you use in tendency to show you who you are not. The further up through the distinctives you walk, the less polarity plays an important part in the game. The sixth density, the density of unity, is the last level that polarity is a factor. But even then, it factors in a very different way. Instead of balancing positive and negative, you'll be balancing love, light, compassion, wisdom. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Those again. Evil is not who you are, it's part of the complex series of illusions that you use in the density to show you who you are not. This means evil. The further up through the density you walk, the less polarity plays an important part in the game. The sixth density, the density of unity, is the last level. What that polarity is a factor. But even then, it's factored in a very different way. Instead of balancing positive and negative, you'll be balancing love, light, compassion, wisdom. This means they have to be bad from what I got here. The higher up you go, the more bad you become. And then the catalyst is to show us that we are bad also in the higher densities, only if that's what they mean. True, and I'm glad you pointed that out to me. I think what I really meant when I said you are alleviated is that your very essence is not evil, corrupt, and this alleviates you from my perspective because I forget an idea of the ruling elite as being comprised of terminally corrupted souls. No soul is terminally corrupted. Every soul is a beautiful individuated portion of our one infinite creator. Souls place characters in the game of incarnation. Souls can play some real mean and nasty characters, but underneath the disguise they will always be beautiful. Remember this, every time one of these beautiful souls mistreats you as a part of the storyline, they are just playing their part like any good actor does on this on stage. Be thankful to them for their sacrifice and learn the lessons they are bringing to you. I don't want to know their lesson, I give them back at the same coin. You say we all mingle between incarnation, but I suspect the nature of our perception and interaction in the realm is not comparable to our earthly methods of interaction, and therefore, as a united entity, there will be no independent laughter. I have what I feel are probably final question for you. Not so. Think in terms of individuated souls who can see and understand that they are not separate, but interconnected. It's an illusion that space and empathy. You will still interact as an individual, yet at the same time you will see how we are all one. It's difficult to explain in a way that makes a tad decent sense. We just do not have the words or concepts to describe it. We no longer need words where we are going. How do you know all this? And I really mean no. Clearly you have been taught in great depth about the nature of existence. But how do you know this firsthand? How is it more than fate for you? Have you been able to avoid forgetting open reincarnation? I have made reference to this in my answers to the previous poster. You seem to suggesting that your metaphysical enslavement are intended to force us into spiritual awakening. But if that is so, why are methods of spiritual suppression used against the general populace? Chemicals, organized religion, sociological, virus, wars. Understand why you obstruct our material lives, but not why you obstruct our spiritual development. Think of it as a test, no nonsense. Only the idiot, the fools, the fools, the religion fools say, God is sending us test. You think that God will give you only good and not test you? Hey, come on. So this God is a devil. If I have to do my part, my responsibility toward my young children. Suppose I have young child. It's my duty to take care of them, alright? And if I give them a toy, give them food, give them a kiss, give them a love, it's my duty. I'm not do that child a favor. It is my duty. I don't have afterwards to test my child and I put things about for him to play and then destroy so as to have a reason to punish them. That's nonsense. That's bull crap. No, that's bull crap. Doesn't come to my brain. Doesn't come, not my brain, my mind. My mind cannot concept this, and we have an explanation, logical explanation for that, or a spiritual explanation for that, because I don't buy it. Have you ever noticed how just when you think you found something that really feels like truth for you, something will come along to make you doubt it, to make you doubt the truth, and in so doing to also doubt yourself in believing it. Yeah, because you all try to twist the minds of these idiots, and then they will forget, and then they not forget, they will negate it, they will avoid it, and reject it. It happens all the time. In fact, almost every time you have some new revelation that gets you all excited, and it happens quite in by design. You cannot see this, however, as it is happening beyond the third density comprehension, in a realm where everything can be seen as adjoining and relating to everything else. Synchronicity, all a magical part of an infinite creator's ingenuously creative mind, an excellent sense of humor and irony. To laugh at the misery of the others is nothing humorous about it. This is stupidity and very crassy and a slapstick kind of humor. I don't like that. Can you see how the test works? Just when you find something that you've waited up, and discarded with your discernment, scattered and decided to integrate it into your concept of truth, along comes the challenge to your newfound beliefs, usually in the form of an event or something that others may say to dissuade you, or others will tempt your patience, or something like bad luck will happen in your life. These are all them who do this, aliens, because they can program holograms for us. Your spiritual development or configurations. Your spiritual development, like all other aspects of your progression, is something that you have to work for. How do you know if your newly discovered truth is real true if you never tasted on it? The test is this. In the face of a challenge, who do you trust? Do you trust what the outside world is showing you? No, that's not me. Or do you hold fast to that which feels like truth deep within you? I will try to dissecate it and analyze it better. That's something you can only answer for yourself. I'm sorry, I do have the time left. I do not have the time left to respond to all of your questions, so I selected the ones I felt to be the most important. I have enjoyed the communication Rao, and I am happy to have made your acquaintance. Well, I must press on with more questions. I ask that the infinite Creator bless and guide you on your path and give you the courage of your convictions. Be well, friend. I look forward to meeting up with you when you've completed the game. I have one more question for you, if I may. What question has not been asked as of yet that is most important for us to know, if any? And if there is any, would you consider if we ask it now? Not sure if this is one does any good, but it stuck in my mind last night. An excellent and incisive question to ask. I think what I shall do is to save this question for the very end of the discourse. It will be an effective way to bring our time together to a close. Hidden hand, I know you will try to focus on spiritual questions and questions about the density shift, but if you could detract for a moment to answer my question about shape-shifting, I'd appreciate it. I will, but must be very brief, I'm sorry. Shape-shift is not a natural phenomenon. Shape-shifting creatures, race does not exist. Oh no? At least not in any realm, galaxy or density we have ever experienced. However, there are certain rituals that when engaged in, enables them to take place. So still they exist. Whether there's true rituals or not, they still exist. And they can use the mantle of invisibility. And they can use hologram. They use hologram to make fake apparitions. Holographs. Why don't they say the truth? She once hidden the truth, the real truth. It has to do with the fact that the body, as it is true of all physical things, is not really solid. Sure, it looks and feels as if it is, but in actuality, all matter is composed of atomic and subatomic particles of light within molecules and compounds. As I say, I'm being briefed through the CCT and don't have time to go into the science. There are certain rituals which, when undertaken, allow for a range of manipulation of the so-called solid bodily mass to take place. I have been seeing some grotesque images in my time, which I really prefer not to dwell open. And that's his talk about demons and all these demons apparition. So some the ritual. I trust that even if in some small way this will have answered your query, And this next question we'll have to finish on for tonight. I have somewhere I must be. I wish thank you for your enlightening words. I wish to thank you for your enlightening words. It has been the utmost pleasure of mine to read what you have spoken. I do, however, have a couple of questions. What a boring man pushing over. As I look into myself, I feel as though I'm old soul who has learned many things and possibilities. How are we to know how far along we have come in regards to obtain a high spiritual being during the coming harvest? You are most welcome, precious, always appreciated. I'm unsure whether your question refers to now or once the great harvest is accomplished. I've already touched on what happens after few replies, so I'll go with the former. As per now, there's a simple method to check open your progress. Despite what appears to be going on in the world at large, how love and harmonious are your personal relationships? Remember that the world is your mirror, casting back at you the reflection of that which you have projected into it. But we cannot be forced to leave the person who we don't like. There's no sense. We don't have to put up with that. How many arguments do you find yourself engaging in? Is there bitterness and acrimony within the ranks? Do you look at others and think about how you would like to change them? Or do you love them and accept them as they are? I accept them very far away. I don't love them, but accept them very far away from me. Neither do I want to change anybody, but I want them out. Loving and accepting someone for who they are is known as a conditional love. That one is reserved for mother of young children. That's something you will spend much time working open, and not even all mothers are like this, fortunately. When graduating into post-density positive, it's a good idea to get a head start. Now, love and accepting someone as they are does not mean accept abusive behavior, of course, but it does mean loving and accepting the person soul, not the soul's behavior. The behavior is not who they are. The soul within it is who they are. The quality of your relationship, yeah, but what the soul do will not make us like them. We don't have to like that soul on because that soul cannot be forced to accept all their nonsense. The quality of your relationship is an excellent mirror from which to gauge the quality of your output. Or in other words, that which are you creating. Nobody can create by force unless the person like to suffer willingly. But there's some circumstances where it's very hard to escape, I would say. People are in a relationship not because they want most of the time, but by circumstances. So in this case, it's not our fault that we are putting up something negative, but no sense. It's easier when we look from far away, more difficult when we have to live that. After all, chili pepper in the eyes of other person does not harm your eyes unless you are empathic enough. Do look at a person and consider it to a greater or less extent. Open the things that you dislike about them and wish you to change, or the qualities that you like and admire in them. Remember that we have said that all thought, word, or deed is creative. You get back exactly what you send out. And what if you don't want that and cannot get out? Then what? Have to force to be good? Have to be fake? Because the worst thing is to be fake and pretend. Better be blunt. Better slap someone with the truth than kiss them for life. So, when you send out the thought, why is she so hard to live with? Why is he always behaving like this? Ask yourself, what exactly are you doing? Now focus here. As this is so obvious, you could miss it, and in fact must do. Take away the question from your sentence, and essentially you are saying, she's so hard to live with. He's always behaving like this. Do you see what are you doing? Remember, all thought is creative. You have just created the very behavior in that person. Nonsense. That you wish to change simply because you do not understand the law of radiation and attraction. Okay, I want to win lottery tomorrow. Where's this law of radiation and attraction? All lies. Go lies to the devil, not me. Now try an experiment. Take someone in your life that you love, but sometimes have trouble getting along with. Think about the thoughts you have projected about that person. If he loves one thing, don't have to complain. If you can get out, why complain? Get out. But the thing is, sometimes people are stuck there up and you cannot come out and don't love that person, which is worse. Which is worse. So it's not our fault. Whatever is being said, he's telling nonsense. The negative thoughts, ask yourself, does the behavior that you do not like in that person in any way correspond to the thoughts you have been having about them? If you are honest with yourself, the strong bet that it does. Sure, they must have behaved that way in the first place to make you notice that you didn't like it. But we all have off days sometimes. The more you focus on their behavior, the more you are going to see of it. It's just life doing what it does and conforming to our expectations about the way it will be for you. Now, having recognized this, what will you do about it? Simply notice your negative thoughts as they arise. Literally catch yourself as you are having them. And then simply change your perspective. No, get out, get out. Focus instead, if you can get out, focus instead about the things you like about this person. How you love this man. Nonsense. Yeah, you are going to skip this. I cannot take. And what of our loved ones are more appropriate to my soulmates who do I love dearly? Will I be able to take this, the new John of the harvest, alongside my loved ones? That will depend upon whether or not you both graduate or have to repeat the cycle. Though rest assured, if for one lifetime you were to be apart, you will always be together in time and space between incarnations, and that you will be able to plan many future lives incarnation together. I hope so. I hope so with my mother and one of my sisters. And one more thing, as I know there are others who are longing for questions answered. Why do you dream in metaphors which makes no sense? I do not have time left tonight to respond sufficiently. But the short version is that the universal mind speaks in archetypal imagery. In similar way that the writing in some of our Oriental languages uses a system whereby a collection of words or meanings are contained within what is essentially a symbol, so the universal mind uses archetypes to communicate in dream time. Just like understanding any dialect, you just need to learn the language. Thank you so very much. I strongly wish I may meet you someday and have a good talk. You're very welcome, and it will happen as you wish. Not now in this lifetime, but soon when you have finished playing the game together. No rush though, friend. We've got all the time, space in the world, all the time, space in creation. Actually, must go now for tonight. I shall do my best to reply, and that's the end of the fourth session for this material.